The economic sustainability plan is not opposed to either the Yolo bypass or the San Joaquin River floodplain restoration, including the Paradise Cut, or you are?
No, actually, it's not. It supports them. Okay.
Just in fairness on cost, don't you have to calculate the benefit?
Well, I think you look back. The legislation looked at preserving and enhancing agriculture. So what is the impacts of potential projects to agriculture? Agriculture was evaluated from its as an economic sector. They've put in a $20 million plus impact as a criteria as to whether or not there'd be a significant impact. That, I think, is reflected in the chart you have before you. We did not look at trying to impute what the flood control benefits or recreational benefits are. That's not out of the question to ask for. But what it does, does show relative to the legislation, that you have a significant. In some of these projects, you have the probability of a very significant impact to the agricultural output, economic output of the Delta, and that's what this tends to show, with a qualitative aspect for the benefits. So we can go. That's would be. You're right on the balance of doing a cost-benefit analysis. This document in the beginning stipulated that it was not doing a cost-benefit analysis. It was measuring the sectors and trying to show impacts to those sectors. And this one was done from preserve and enhance. It did not look at the values of the recreation. That's
so is it fair to say that if those factors were included, the dollar figures would probably be less than the range you have presented?
The range we presented was just the agricultural impact.
No, I understand the focus.
It's not the total impact. It's just to summarize it for agriculture.
Because the Delta Protection Commission, the local officials, have a much broader interest than agriculture. It's not the only interest you focused on. It's one of the major interests you focused on.
That's correct, and it's the one where we had the data to quantify it. And I agree, if these were strategies and proposals that we were recommending against, and we had not calculated those things, then I agree that would be a major problem.
I don't actually mean to be critical of this approach. This is an honest, direct, informative, useful, and understandable approach. I mean, unlike much of what is available, a human being other than a PhD sitting and spending 20 years understanding it can pick this up and get a flavor for the areas of dispute, the choices. That's all I'm suggesting is that you've got your final plan, so that's over. But you give some thought to that, and DPC ought to give some thought to it too, because that's the kind of balance judgment that gets lost in the middle of all these political fights on all levels. So, okay.
All right. I'm